Before I moved into my apartment, I lived in a rented house. It wasn't very big, but I liked it a lot, and it was more than enough for me. It was a little bit of a longer drive to get to my job every day, since the house was somewhat far from the city, but still, I liked it. The neighbors were great as well. It was more or less a perfect little place to find peace. Or so I thought. Now, my story is a prime example of things going downhill. Here's where everything gets very interesting. For a year and a half, pretty much every day after work, I would drive home, take a shower, and have a cup of coffee to relax myself before doing anything. For the duration of my coffee, I would always sit by the window while reading a book or watching TV. Most days were the same. I would get caught up reading, lose track of time, and I'd spend the last few moments of sunlight looking out the window. It was a peaceful sight. City noises were replaced with kids' laughter. One day I fell asleep in the chair and woke up some time after midnight to find my TV still on and the remote inside of my coffee cup. I was just gonna go to the bedroom and continue the slumber when I saw a glimpse of light up on the hill. There was an old church up there, or what was left of it, but I've never seen anyone get even close to those ruins before, let alone see someone go inside. It appeared as if one of the windows had a candle near it. My mind wandered, and to this day I don't know why, but I just stood there and couldn't take my eyes off of it. Then out of thin air, like someone jumped toward the window impetuously, a pair of eyes appeared. I was paralyzed. The distance between me and them wasn't there. I was naked in the dark, and those red eyes were the only thing I could see. I don't remember anything about that night from that point on. The next morning, I woke up in my bed upstairs, and even the air in the room felt queer. When you can't explain something and you're also not all that eager to explain it, you forget things strangely fast. A week went by, and it was Friday. My friend had come over to stay the weekend since we don't see each other that often. We stayed up late and had a few drinks. So naturally, when I asked him about the red glowing eyes we saw in the window the next morning, he said he didn't even remember when he got to my place. But I couldn't forget. It was driving me crazy. I was scared, and then I wasn't. I was angry, then scared again, and if anything, very bewildered. On Monday, I had decided to wait and look. And look I did. Sometime after midnight, my eyes started itching. I rubbed them and thought to myself, what in the holy hell am I even doing? Then looked back, and there they were, describing something illic that feels wrong. Words could never paint the picture the way fear does it. This time I was sane, aware of what is happening. Something demonic was looking at me and through me from that window. I felt the air get cold and got kind of dizzy. It didn't take long before I closed the curtains and ran off to bed, knowing full well there was going to be no sleep that night. It continued happening for some time. I would stop and watch the light until the eyes appeared. Then I'd look away. That chair by the window became my favorite and my least favorite place in that house. It wasn't curiosity. It was fear that kept me looking. Yet there was something comforting about it. Knowing the eyes were up there on the hill and making sure they're up there every night, away from me, made me feel safe. Then one day something happened that gave me a spark of hope. It's the only thing stronger than fear. But if you cling onto it too hard, sometimes it can crush you. I was walking to the local store in the early morning and heard noise up on the hill. I saw some workers and machines up there, so I went to check it out. The man in charge told me the old ruins were getting demolished. I wasn't sure how I felt about that, but nonetheless, by the time I got back, they had started the work. I thought that whatever has been happening for the past few weeks was going to stop, and if I never had to see it again, I didn't have to know what it was. That day I called in sick and decided that this is going to be the last time I ever look. There I was again, in the chair by the window, drinking coffee and hoping that when I look outside that window in an hour and a half, all I see is darkness up on that hill. Midnight came fast, and I looked. I didn't want to leave, but even after 15 minutes, nothing happened. The light wasn't there, and the eyes were gone. It's done. I let myself think that for a small second, and regretted it immediately. Across the street, in my neighbor's window, I saw them watching me. Is this real? I thought. In that moment, everything had fallen apart. The strange feeling of comfort I had before was gone. Something was changing, and I didn't know what to do about it. What I didn't realize at the time was, malevolent as they were, those eyes were not the worst of it, not compared to what could follow. Then for the first time, something started to change. The air got cold again. Out of the darkness beneath the eyes, I could see a nose, just the tip of it. Then it started getting bigger, as if it was slowly getting pressed against the glass. Elle knew what was to follow, but couldn't bring myself to look away. There it was, the single most terrifying thing you've ever seen. A face. Is it a demon from hell? I thought. The deepest, darkest part of hell. Because what else could leave me petrified like this? I couldn't tell you what went through my head at that moment, but it was probably blank. Looking back at it, death seems gentler. Then the human inside of me woke up, and I shut the curtains driven by fear. I ran to turn on every light in the house and locked the door, then locked myself up in the bedroom upstairs. It was implanted in my mind, and I couldn't make it go away. Like the face was coming toward me, and Elle was going to die. Time was a strange concept for me in the hours that followed, but nothing happened. I was in my room until I could see the first rays of sun through the blinds. Then I went outside. Nothing was waiting to kill me, and I could breathe again. I went around the house, and while still trying to put my thoughts back together, I saw something strange. My neighbor didn't have a window on that side of the house. Of course, there's no window. There never was. I never saw the eyes in the window of the church. I didn't see them in my neighbor's window. I saw them in my window. It was there all along, in the house with me, breathing its cold air behind my neck.